Dewitt Scott, Moraine Valley Community College, giving you another breakdown of one of the books that we are curating for our Black History Month book collection, list of titles that we having with the Moraine Valley Library. And today's discussion, or this review, is about the Autobiography of Malcolm X. Malcolm X is one of the most well-known, most widely discussed and debated political and historical figures of all time. He is my personal favorite public figure, historical figure. And this book, it really is the gateway or the entryway for all of us that were born after Malcolm X's death, after his time on Earth. This book is the gateway to understanding his life, right? So this book talks about his upbringing in Nebraska and Michigan, growing up in poverty, losing his father at a young age, dealing with his mother's mental illness, how he ended up in a group home, how his life changed from speaking to his 8th grade teacher about being a lawyer. And his teacher told him that, you know, Black people can aspire to be lawyers. You need to aspire to do something else. And that moment sort of changed his life from positive to negative. He discusses his mindset and everything that was going through his mind at the time, all the things he was experiencing in his life, and how those thoughts and those actions pushed him into the street, right? And he was a criminal of all kinds, right? He was a drug dealer, he was a pimp, he was a drug user, he was an armed robber, he was, and eventually he was incarcerated for burglary, right? Breaking into homes. And in that time while being incarcerated is when he had another transformation from negative to positive, right? That's when he got introduced to Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. It's when he began to understand the power of reading. So he read more than he had ever read before in his life. He improved his vocabulary. He learned his debating skills by being on the prison debate team in Massachusetts. And after 6 years in prison, with all of this all the didactic self-knowledge, self-learning, when he was released, he automatically put that into use into the world, right? He became the national spokesman for the Nation of Islam. And he discusses in the book the highs and lows in his time in the Nation of Islam. Once he fell out of favor with the Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad, he separated himself from that organization and then went on to get deep into Orthodox Islam. And in that last little portion of his life, the last year and a half, he talks about how his view on race changed, right? Some of the racist rhetoric that he had while he was a member of the Nation of Islam, he dropped within the last year of his life and understood the true brotherhood of interracial relations. And he talks about that. That's something that usually gets lost when talking about Malcolm X in his life, is how that last year of his life, he explicitly stated he believed in the brotherhood of all people regardless of race. All that is explained here. And again, it is the gateway to understanding his life, the central text to understanding his life, one of the most important nonfiction books ever written in the history of the world. I recommend this for anybody, even beyond Black History Month. This is a must-have in your personal library. Check it out. Gives you everything you need to know about this man.